to add personal ideas at the beginning, at the end of the paragraphs.
Do you want me to check anything in particular?
Yeah. Well,
or in
no,
general?
in general.
Okay.
And I try to link the ideas. Well, I have. It's kind of difficult for me, but I'm trying.
It's difficult to connect the ideas?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look here.
And
Yeah.
well,
O sea, tienes que entrenizar, te tienes que aprender hasta. Como tú le haces la lista, tienes que tener que hacer ese tipo de cosas. Por este límite yo no pregunté de. Y si tengo 2 3 niños nuevos, y los 3 que ya no van. Y los, aquí lo malo somos que ya no van. Y luego.
All right. When we finish our talk today, and you're giving your work another review and your final review, I want you to look at your topic sentence, linking sentence, topic sentence, linking nada más, linking sentence, topic. Así. To see first of all if when you read this sentence, if the idea that you want to talk about in that one paragraph is clear. And then when you look at the linking sentence, that you take that idea, that you're linking it, saying it another way, but you're linking this idea with this idea here. And then look at this idea. Okay, this is the idea. Now, did I say it here? Okay, I see. Pero I see. Link, main topic sentence, main idea. The hardest part of the paragraph is the topic sentence. Think of it, a paragraph is talking about one thing, one little idea. Because what we want to do sometimes is have a topic sentence that talks about a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be complicated sentence. It can be, now, we don't want to be too, right, but but most of the problems that I've seen, and not just you, but in general, it's like the topic sentence real long and sophisticated and talks about a lot of things, and sometimes it's general. So so you have to try to find that balance of what's the one idea that's clear, but that it's a claim, and then you talk about that idea, and then you link, and so on. So just I'll look at it here quickly here, but also just take another look, because you probably, in most cases, you probably have it. It's just maybe you can say it just a little bit more concisely, or more directly. I mean, be very specific. Don't kind of be, and try to put yourself in the reader's shoes, because you know this information. You've been doing all the research, and you write it. Sometimes we forget that somebody else is going to be reading this that maybe are not aware of some of these things. So try to say, okay, if I were reading this for the first time, it is this. Do I get the idea? Okay. Yeah. So when giving classes in a time in which technology plays a significant role, integrating technology in the classes and finding new options to communicate and collaborate with students using the internet provides a manner to keep in touch with them. Okay. So I understand what you want to say.
Yeah.
I think you can say it a little bit more concisely.
Yes, like the idea.
In English, we want to say more with less, and it's different than Spanish.
Yeah,
in Spanish, we want to elaborate and really formal, but in English, it's more precise. Now, we don't want super short sentences either, but just a little bit like, yeah. And what I do is I look through these sentences and I look for keywords. And so in this case, when giving classes in a time in which technology plays, okay, so the role of technology, that's one idea. Integrating, okay, now we have integrating. So the role of technology, now we also have integrating technology and finding new options to communicate and collaborate. So now this idea of communicate and collaborate with students using the internet, provide a manner to keep in touch with them. Keep in touch is kind of like communicate and collaborate. So I see technology plays a significant role, integrating technology and collaboration or communication or interaction. So maybe, so then if we read this, so social interactions, okay, when communicating, with students. Okay, social talk. All right, so when I read this just briefly, it sounds like communication, interaction, and technology. Do you talk about technology? Okay, the internet. Okay, the internet. And are we just talking the internet? Social talk, language?
At the beginning, I only say that.
Okay, so.
And then afterwards, I introduce like.
All right, so social interaction. So when I read the details of this paragraph, what I think of is using the internet to interact. Interaction in general.
Yeah.
Maybe social talk. If you want to talk about social talk, because it sounds like social talk also is like the key idea, maybe. All right, social talk. Right? Social talk provides language learners or students a way to collaborate. Period. And then you talk about social talk. See? Yeah. So it's don't try to put these words to make I sound really. It's more about you communicating an idea to the reader. That's what it is. And if I get what you say, then you are a better writer than trying to sound fancy.
Yeah.
But it gets. But yeah, you've got the idea here.
Yeah, I think I
that's
have
kind
all
of the
my
idea.
ideas at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah.
We need to make them more.
And it's good. Your writing's good, right? It's there's no. These are just kind of the icing on the cake here.
Yeah.
So, just try that. Just do what we just did.
Sí.
Go through here. What are the key ideas? Okay. Now I'm going to read this. Okay, this is the idea, and then go back and say, now can I say it in a different way? Right. Yeah, a simpler way or more concise. Right. And then double check here, and then you would say social talk, interacting and collaboration with students, and then link that to the next one, communication between students. Social talk provides positive feedback. Now this is the new information, because here you're saying communicate, and maybe you repeat yourself. Social talk provides feedback, positive feedback with them, helping tool in the classroom is a medium for expressing ideas. So the new ideas, feedback and expressing ideas, that is what you're going to talk about here. I see. Okay?
Yeah, I think I will do it today.
But yeah, it's much better here. Your paragraphs now seem to be... And Facebook probably capitalize. I was going back and forth. I was like,
I missed some.
Do we capitalize that?
Yes.
And I think I sent you a link. Yeah. Okay.
No, I will check that today.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe well, we need to send it today. So. Yeah.
Now, one thing that I'm just looking at this one paragraph here, and you have your topic sentence, and then, for example, then you can add a comment. Okay, so what I would recommend is the second sentence, especially if you say, for example, I would recommend that you add a citation. There's nothing wrong with what you do here, but the idea too is to support these ideas, and it's good to think of, okay, for example, this. But if you can provide an example that is coming from an outside source, even better. Right? Because that way you have an expert opinion and not just your own opinion. Right? So maybe this down here is an example, or maybe you can find one example that you can insert here. So I'll just make a quick note here. Facebook groups complement students' collaboration in the classroom. Okay, so they increase. So they increase and complement. You probably, if you say complement, aren't you increasing or not? Or not? Maybe not? See or no? Complementing. If this complements this, are you also increasing it? Maybe. Are you?
Well, it's like
Maybe.
they're connected, because if you complement your learning, you increase another.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. According to, okay. Now, when you say according to, it's not necessary to have a capital letter here.
Okay.
You can use a lowercase.
Yeah, well, I need to restate make them size.
Okay. Here's, and I'd like you also to check, and maybe it's not a major problem. I don't think it is. But here's an example, and I'm going to put MO for modal.
Oh,
When
yeah.
integrating the Facebook groups in the classroom, the students would benefit from this decision as they collaborate and express their thoughts in a freer environment. Good sentence. Now, let's listen to the same sentence and let's take out this modal. When integrating the Facebook groups in the classroom, the students benefit from this decision.
It's more
So if I say, yeah, it's more, you sound not egotistical, but you sound more assertive.
Yeah.
So there's a balance between sounding like you know everything and the other side where you're all kind of wishy-washy, like, oh, it could happen, perhaps.
Yeah.
Right. You just remove it,
Okay.
and you just sound just better. The tone sounds much better. So when I integrate the Facebook groups in the classroom, the students benefit from this decision, and then you go in and provide evidence to support the idea.
Yeah.
The responses toward these. Kind of the same way here.
Yeah, that's what
Right? I mean,
because when you're
it's not bad, but you can say that the responses towards using Facebooks are both positive and negative, right? Depending on the type of students.
Yeah. Do we need to write a reflection for today?
No.
Or just like
No reflections. Any weeks where you have a product that's due, like literature review method, there are no reflections. So
No
don't
need
worry.
to send
Yeah, no, you don't have to send anything. So just focus on this, and then relax this weekend.
And for the next week we're going to start
And then instrument design. Yeah. And I'm gonna give you feedback, and you're gonna have until basically May 23rd to make changes and ask questions, and we can still talk about any doubts that you have. But obviously we'll be focusing mainly on the other processes, right? So, but
I'm sorry for sending like a lot of messages.
no. That's how I would prefer to work, because that way you can. You'll have a better result, I think, if we have better, good communication.
Yeah, and I think it's really useful. The kind of
So,
I did this.
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do, is make it that more accessible to you guys, so that I can hopefully help you a little bit more. Be careful, and that's one thing that I don't like about Google Drive that Word is really good about. If you have more than one space, it draws a little squiggly line, but it doesn't do that here. So try your best to make sure that you can find these spacings, because sometimes we leave two spaces. Maybe just copying and pasting to Word and just looking at Word real quick and say, okay, and then going back to Drive and eliminating the spaces, because in Word, it should show you. In fact, it shows you some other things maybe that doesn't show you here. So. Like that.
Oh yeah.
See? It has a little green squiggly line.
Yeah, I think I will do that
And
today.
and like right here, another one here. See that?
Yeah.
So try that. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it's a little easier. And you don't have to change anything in the Word document. You just go back and forth and say, okay, and change it. Yeah. So try that. All right. So any other? Here's another one.
No, I think I need to change to make them more concise, and then I'll maybe send you a message.
Okay.
You can check it one more
So
time.
in learning about Henderson, I think this, here's another example where I think you can just remove or save this, or let's see, how can I say this? Include this if you just take this out, I think it improves your topic sentence, bringing it in, because you're including in it, you're including the reason why all this, and so maybe you can talk about this a little bit later in the paragraph and just end it here, and that might make it more concise. As a general rule, let's see. The second sentence, let's see here. Like here, you have a citation for the second sentence. And I like having the second sentence. I think that right in the second, right away, you're giving evidence. It's like, what's the main idea? Okay, this is one evidence. So it's, so think about that. It doesn't have to be on every paragraph, but as a rule, that helps clarify. And just make sure that the second sentence, if it's your original idea, that you're not talking still about the general idea. Yeah. So just kind of be careful there. When I write sentences, I try my second sentence to throw in a citation. Yeah. And these are certain phrases that we want to try to avoid. And I think you have a sentence fragment here, so check that as necessary. An it or a subject here. Okay. Okay. In the topic sentences, when you're looking at all your topic sentences, check to see if you're using any pronouns. Any type of pronouns. It can be a subject pronoun, it can be an object pronoun, it can be any type of pronoun. Typically, as a general rule, try to avoid pronouns in the topic sentence. Obviously, you can use pronouns later in the sentence, but anytime you use a pronoun, it has to be very clear what the antecedent is. What is it referring to? And in this case, you're referring to something in the back paragraph. Now imagine, you talked about a lot of different things in the paragraph. So whenever somebody's reading this is a new idea, due to this, right, and maybe it's clear, but maybe it's not.
Maybe I need to
restate. Remember discourse analysis, there we use direct repetition. It's okay as long as we don't overdo it. You can state it again. Maybe you paraphrase what this is, and then start with the new idea. Then it's very clear for the reader exactly what you're referring to. So I'm I'm just going to put pronoun here, but that's what it's referring to.
Mhm.
Maybe reword that. Considering strategies.
Yes.
Activities would lead to say, if the teacher is there. Here we can probably do something with the meal plan here.
I didn't know if I needed to add like a personal idea, because then I had because of this I want to investigate but I don't know if.
Well, is this okay? This is your last idea, right?
Mhm.
And then you have your last sentence here.
Yeah.
And your question here is what? I'm sorry.
If I need to add a personal idea after the citation.
Okay, because this is the last body paragraph,
Yeah.
I would add a closing sentence. Remember that the linking sentence, there are two options. It can be a linking sentence, or it can be kind of a summary sentence of what you just said.
Yeah.
And I typically just call it linking sentences because we're linking different paragraphs.
Mhm.
But in this case, this is kind of your last body paragraph before your kind of closing type of sentence. So I would instead just add a summarizing sentence that ties in that idea that you just mentioned.
Mhm.
Maybe you mentioned something that you talked about before, but that it's kind of a closing sentence.
Okay. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so I think looks
Yeah, I will.
good. Just double check your citations.
And the space.
Did you upload? Are these all yours here?
Yeah. My
Okay.
references. Mhm.
All right, just double check, and this is what I'm going to do, and I don't think I did it on yours, but I'm just going to double check. I'm going to go Control C, Control F, and Control C, and I'm going to say Booth. Okay, there it is. Okay, and then I'm going to double click, Control C, F, and that's what I'm going to do very quickly. I can check.
Yeah.
And so just double check yourself also,
Yeah.
making sure that all of the years, okay, 2013,
Yeah.
okay, 2013, okay, good. Let's see, just to double check to make sure that all of your citations are good, and it also helps you to make sure that you have a year for each of your citations. Mm-hmm. So another suggestion there too. Bien.
Oh, you didn't
So,
know.
all right.
It was possible to do that.
Yeah, well, and it's fast. You can go in
because I was
1
reading
minute.
again and then checking.
Yeah, in 1 minute. Now, this doesn't check if it doesn't verify if you have a citation but you don't have a reference. But at least it checks one way. But obviously, if you have a citation, you'll also need a reference.
Yeah, I will check that today.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and finish up then, Kellcy. And next week we'll begin working on our instruments. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.